we are again previewing another sale coming up at Clarke Auction on Monday, June the 3rd at 5 p.m. This sale, Steve, we hope is going to be one of our best to date. We have absolutely the best French object d'art and furniture we've ever had. We have a great selection of art, including wonderful discoveries. We have Russian and Shreve silver, ounces and ounces of it, and we have lots of great regular and mid-signature furniture. So we're going to start here with this magnificent pair of doré bronze urns attributed to Thormere from the Long Island estate. Look at the quality in this. Absolutely beautiful, great large size, very desirable. Below them you have one of a pair of nice inlaid, 20th century but very nice quality bronze mounted and inlaid Louis XV style commodes. From a local estate, just came in 2 days ago, we have a pair of these probably 17th or 18th century polychrome angels on stands. Once again, as a pair, very decorative and very desirable. Underneath this magnificent painting, we have the sofa, or the love seat, from this three-piece Louis XV1 style gilt wood set. Nice and desirable with the two lovey-doveys up here on top. Good for the weekend travelers. I bring the girlfriend back to the apartment and impress her with that. Here on the floor, a very desirable and not often comes to the market, a Thormere, what they call a surtout de table, would have been in one of the big French mansions years ago. Beautiful doré bronze. This base was actually made for it, so it wasn't part of what it was, but just get an idea of the size. It's, by me walking past, probably about 60 inches in long. That's from the Long Island estate. And over here, from the same estate, literally in the same living room, and you can see our old video where we were on site, is this absolutely beautiful parquetry, marquetry inlaid with ormolu mounts. Absolutely stunning. Beveled glass, curved glass, everything you want in one of these vitrines. I would attribute it to Linky, or one of those great makers, because the quality is just phenomenal. We haven't had time as of yet to look and find a name, but hopefully someone will, or we will. Moving over here, Steve, as we seem to have a Steinway in every sale, but this one's actually in better condition. Model M. We have this beautiful, we would hoped it was earlier, but we believe it just to be 20th century, but a very good quality marble bust. Before we go in the main room, we have this pedestal clock, beautiful green marble, nice ormolu mounts all over, just as the condition you'd like to find it. Alongside it, covered up with the poster here, is a beautiful, good sized after Rodin bronze patinated sculpture. Into the main room, Steve. I'm going to let you focus around the room because my appraisers are going to come in and get more detailed with the items, but this will give you a good look of just the sheer volume of stuff that we actually have here, and I'll mention a few things as well in case they miss them. Okay, so we're going to start moving. Over here we have Nam, our main man, fixing the flyers, but here we have actually a palace-size handmade carpet. I mean, look at the quality on this carpet. Beautifully fine, but wonderful big size. A pro for the type of items we have in the safe. You can imagine how this would look with all that Thormere bronze and stuff on top of it. Over here we have a beautiful carved gilt with what they call a doorman's chair. While we're here, I want to focus on these three bronzes because they're part of a lot of sculpture that came from the Bedford estate. This is a European artist called Enzo Plazzato. Very large size. We found big records for much smaller ones, so the patina's been outside, but very desirable. Over here, I believe this is an African-American woman. As of yet, we haven't found a signature, but you can see the size of this. Also, funny patina on it because it was outside. And over here, we have another one. These are going to be part of some of the concrete sculpture and the granite sculpture that's outside by Lika Mutal, I believe, and another biomorphic looking one. Anyway, as you see all along the walls, there's plenty of art, lots of rugs. Here of particular note is this beautiful faux bamboo Regency of the period desk. Over here we have this nice neoclassical, bigger than usual steel table with nice horse heads on it, and as you can see, lots of mid-century round. On top of this we have a beautiful pair of porcelain arm form lamps, just showing one here with the original shade as it came out of Long Island. I believe they're by Petit. Here, one of a pair. Look at these really beautiful pair of Seb's urns. We believe they're Seb's. We have not taken them off the base. Up here, it took 2 people to lift these sconces off. These are bronze, doré bronze. Look at the figure with the snakes. Very neoclassical. Moving right along, and from the same estate, we have a pair of these bronze. They're as mirrors, but once upon a time, either this held them into the wall because they're so heavy, or it was sconces. Not 100% sure, but once again, took 2 people to lift these. We have lots of clocks. We have this Rococo style clock, signed We have this very large clock, I believe it's signed by C.H. Boy. We have another clock, very similar but slightly smaller over there. From the living room of this estate was this also magnificent bronze triptych mirror, nearly in the quality of Thor mirror. But we couldn't. Patina's not as nice as you'd want it to be, but that can be redone. But how often do you find them? Here, look at these. These are his and hers, bronze and patinated figural sconces, great size. All of this up above this nice big marble and marquetry ormolu mounted sideboard, which is a pair of chests. Too much to mention. I don't want to take up all my other appraisers' time, Steve, so I'm going to whip you along here. Note lots of chandeliers are going to be in the sale. There's lots of mirrors. Moving down here, we have this absolutely beautiful, because it's, you know, also how the decorators love this nice big crown of a giltwood crown with thick Murano style mirrored glass and reverse paintings. This is a headboard. Before I finish though, I'm going to point out this. This is the fire mantle that we actually got out of the estate. We're just showing the two full figural side pieces here, but we do have the top, we have all the inside. This is, you know, try and find another one of these fireplaces. You know, it's really great. So this is a sale I don't think anyone should miss. I'm going to now come along here, just get a quick look at all of this, Steve, over here, because Whitney, Bruce, Keane and Neely are going to give you a more detailed thing, and I wish everyone a happy holiday and see you on June the 3rd at 5 p.m. Hand you to Bruce.
Hi, Steve. Thanks, Ron. So, a large assortment of antique blue and white, antique Chinese porcelain and artifacts in general from an East 37th Street apartment in generous tray lots. This is all antique or vintage items. A lot of it's signed. You can look on our website for the details. From the same apartment, a tray lot of little hard stones, some snuff bottles, a beautiful russet jade pendant here, a malachite snuff bottle carved like a gourd or a vegetable, a jade plaque, a very nice lot here. Another lot of snuff bottles, including this large internally decorated one, probably 20th century, but very nice quality. And this showcase is just filled with items from this apartment. Pair of ivory figures, a tray lot of hard stones, including this coral figure. This has been repaired, but it's a nice lot with lapis or sodalite, carnelian, jade, a wonderful lot. And a nice ivory lot here, including this little elephant on his hardwood base, along with some other figures. And some miniature deep blue cabinet vases here, a nice lot, good old ones. And Steve, if you just pan this shelf, there's jade, antique Chinese cloisonne, a beautiful silver mounted tea caddy, Chinese. A nice lot of porcelain over here, including this brush holder, wall-mounted brush holder. It goes with this whole lot of porcelain, this tray lot, 8 pieces. And down here, some other big lots of blue and white, antique, a lot of it signed. This is a beautiful one, maybe earlier than 19th century possibly. And here, Steve, more. These little planters are particularly nice and old. And to get off Chinese for one moment, a major item in this upcoming sale is this Tiffany Favril lava or volcanic vase. We have a lot of interest in this already. From our Westbury, Long Island estate, a singing bird music box, not in working condition. Probably not a big deal. And here a Picasso Medora vase, pitcher, pardon me. Nice one. And up on top of this case, Steve, is a beautiful Gallet cameo cut lamp. And I believe it was always a lamp and not a converted vase. When you light it up, all these colors tie in. And it's a good old plate on the bottom. I think it was always a lamp. And from Old Westbury, probably Austrian, maybe French, is this gilded bronze lamp with a original glass beaded shade. And walking along this showcase here, Steve, is some more Chinese items from East 37th Street. This orange Foo Dog vase, signed underneath. And here a pair of celadon background enameled vases. One has been repaired at the top, but a really beautiful pair. And continuing on, I know I spoke about this a week or so ago, but a very important and large piece of Claude Conover pottery, American ceramicist, signed underneath Claude Conover. Hoping to get the Parzinger furniture from this woman's house. And here from a Rye estate, a beautiful and delicately painted pair of 19th century pink opaline ground vases. Hope you can see how beautiful those paintings are. 19th century, probably French. And bronzes, Steve, all kinds of bronzes and clocks in this sale. The dog I already spoke about. Beautiful Gorham Foundry dog. And I'll just stop here a moment, Steve, from a White Plains estate. This beautiful, I believe it to be an 18th century Chinese porcelain teapot, maybe made for the Islamic or Middle Eastern market, and then it was mounted as a lamp at some point in the middle of the 20th century, but quite a good Chinese teapot from East 37th Street, probably not Tang, but at least 19th century, and a big Sankai glazed figure of an attendant. From East 37th Street, a matched pair, two temple carving reliefs, beautifully carved and gilded. And if you just pan this as one lot, Steve, all antique Chinese porcelains, many of them signed. This is probably an 18th century tulip vase that's missing its center section, signed. You can look on our website at all the details, but these are very generous lots of antique Chinese blue and white porcelain. And if we can just turn around from a White Plains estate, you'll see more of it in a minute, is a beautiful 18th century French inlaid desk. Nice interior. It needs a little bit of veneer work, but it's going to be worth your time and effort. And I don't believe Ron spoke about this from Old Westbury. We can't find a signature, but this is as good as Linky furniture. This, and I think it could be Linky, this triple door armoire. It's magnificent work, magnificent condition. I'm sure that'll do well. From Old Westbury, it's a pair, Steve. They're signed Jaco Petit, one of the most important Parisian ceramicists. His stuff is in the Louvre, in Versailles. You'll see it everywhere. The other one's on the other table across the room. But they must have been ice coolers originally and converted into lamps in the middle of the 20th century. Another fantastic item from our Old Westbury, Long Island estate is this match set of 3 argon lamps. These are the 2 side lamps, and I'll take you to the double in a moment. They're signed Cox. They have little plaques underneath, signed Cox. And here, Steve, is the center lamp. We're not fully set up in the gallery yet. An unbelievable find to find a set of these 19th century argon lamps. Here, Steve, is a 18th century French, what I thought was a server in the house until I moved the tray off the top, and you'll see in one moment what it was, but it's still beautiful quality, French 18th century walnut, and somebody can patch that top, or maybe they have the missing clock. And over here, Steve, a nice George III English satinwood Pembroke table. Needs a little work down here, but a good authentic antique table. And two pieces of Horner furniture. This big carved partner's desk with the gargoyles and lion carved poles. And then from the same Mount Vernon estate, of course, this slant front desk. From a Rye estate, this 18th century English or Welsh cupboard, actually. Nice quarter sawn oak front. It's missing a little bit of molding right here, but that's nothing that any cabinet maker can't take care of. Nice ebony inlaid escutcheons. Needs a little bit of work, but a nice authentic one with the original top. And here, this is what I wanted you to see. My fiance will be mad at my pronunciation of Vasselier. It's an 18th century French cabinet or cupboard with a clock in the middle, all original, burled walnut, a magnificent example. And so this is what the other server was that we showed you, the gap in the middle. Originally it was one of these, but we only have the bottom. This one is complete, including, there's already people asking about the condition, including the weights and keys. And to answer somebody's question, the feet are good and original. A very hard to find item. To be honest, I've only seen these in France. I've not seen one here. And from the same estate, just a good quality little two-door cabinet, probably cherry, some kind of fruit wood. And stuffed over here in the corner from a Rye estate is an American serpentine front secretary desk. I think it has beautiful little details, the little inlays here, the fan inlay on the central drawer, dental molding up top, probably cherry, but this is going to be a known cabinet shop for scholarly. The feet are good, the ball and claw feet look good to me underneath. Just the hardware has been changed, and changed in the 19th century. And stuff behind this group of paintings is an 18th century French walnut armoire, a really nice example from that same Rye estate. And I did want to mention, Steve, these are going to be in our next auction, but there's at least 150 paintings out of another Rye estate. The artist's name is Boccini, and I don't know if Nelia is going to speak about him today, but it's this man's life's work. Nothing was ever sold. We got it from his son, who was in his 70s. Only showing one here. This one is mounted. Are 5 antique scroll paintings. This one's on a rigid mount, and you can look on our website, but they're beautiful quality, all being sold as one lot. There's 5 of them. And that wraps it up for me, Steve. We hope to see you on June 3rd, and I'm going to turn it over to Nelia.
Thank you, Bruce. We've got so much great art. We're going to start right here and get right into it. Here we have an Elmer McRae. This is a nice impressionist oil on canvas. This is out of a Greenwich, Connecticut estate. Elmer McRae was one of the great Greenwich Coscob art colony artists. This is perhaps one of his daughters or a family friend. Beautifully painted, a genuine American impressionist piece, signed in the lower left. Very sweet painting. Now I'm going to show you down here below. This is done on ivory or bone out of a Bronxville home. We hope that this is American, although we have not removed the back to see. But wonderful image of a child with the dog and the flowers. Nice details in an early primitive piece. This work is by Max Weber, a prolific American artist. Small pastel on paper of a nude holding a book, signed in the lower right. This work is one of the remaining pieces of the Spaeth collection. It's from a series of artwork belonging to Eloise and Otto Spaeth, well-known art collectors and important figures in the art world in the 20th century. Otto Spaeth was once the vice president of the Whitney Museum, and Eloise Spaeth, a very prominent collector and friend of many of these important artists. Here we have a fantastic piece of art. This is Richard Oltz, a 1935 surrealist oil on canvas. This comes out of a house in South Salem, has been off the wall for many, many years, decades in fact. We were fortunate enough to get this piece. It's important not just for its technical skill and expertise and fantastic composition, but also for its historic value. You see, we have this very docile, empty, silent landscape contrasted with this tumultuous, biomorphic, sensual figure in the center. You have folds that represent figures, and up above you have a phallic symbol going into other almost flower-like areas. Beautiful use of brushwork, so fine, even in the foliage in the background and the texture in these even abandoned areas. It's just so wonderfully done. And from a historic point of view, this work was actually exhibited in 1942 in New York in an exhibition called The First Papers of Surrealism. And here I actually have the original exhibition catalog. And here we have the work, Archaic Fragment, 1937. They actually have the date wrong. This was done in 1935. It's a publishing error. You can see it alongside a painting by Wilfredo Lamb, Calder, Masson, all the big names in surrealism at the time. Max Ernst. This was an exhibition organized by André Breton, featuring many of the surrealist painters who had been displaced during World War II. We do know this work was owned at one point by Julian Levy. Julian Levy was a prominent art dealer in New York. He actually financially backed Richard Oltz and some of the other surrealist painters. He owned this work as well as Expectations, which is Oltz's most famous work, and it still hangs in the permanent collection at the Museum of Modern Art in New York. So we know that Julian Levy certainly had an eye for painting and for surrealist art. Also of significant importance is this Bernard Buffet oil. Nice floral bouquet, wonderful use of brush, energy. I just love the energy that comes from these extending leaves. Dated 1965. This was purchased by the original owners from the Wally Findlay Gallery. We do have the original brochure and guarantee from the Findlay Gallery. Nice bit of provenance there. This will go up with a $35,000 to $45,000 auction estimate.
Go ahead.
From the same Greenwich, Connecticut home as the Elmer McRae comes this Raoul Dufy. It's an ink and pastel on paper, signed in the lower right and titled or inscribed Nice in the lower left. So you can see you have a wonderful Nice harbor with ships. Nice touch of color added. Makes this piece pop. I think it's in a beautiful frame ready to go up on the wall. This colorful beach scene, entitled The Beach at Ostia, is by Nicola Cimbari, Italian mid-20th century painter. Painted almost exclusively with a palette knife, as you can see here. Nice bright colors with contrasting yellows and blues. Signed and dated 1966. The artist was working in Rome during this period and spent much time in the beach in Ostia. This is also accompanied by a Wally Findlay brochure. Also from the Spaeth collection comes this work by Werner Drews, a gouache or possibly oil on paper, signed and dated 1959. Figures sitting on a pier at night. I love the blocks of color that dictate the figure, as well as the harbor and the different tones in the night sky. Nice mid-20th century piece of work. We have so many great prints in this sale, many of which belong to the Greenwich, Connecticut consignor I mentioned previously. This is one of them. This is a very important etching by Picasso. This is plate number 26 of the Villard suite. This is pencil signed as you can see. This was purchased originally from the Associated American Artists Group. There is a label on the back. We have removed it from the frame. You have the Villard watermark. Everything looks good. There's a very slight bit of matte burn, but full margins, very nice dark impression. The tones of the aquatint and etching are just quite marvelous. From the same Bronxville estate as the buffet, we have this No Canjura. This is another nice bouquet of flowers. This uses oil as well as sand to create a really nice texture. And although the pigment is thinly applied, you can really get a feel for the paint. There's a very physical attraction in this piece. This also is accompanied by a Wally Findlay brochure and original receipt. Before we move into the next room, I want to show you this bronze after Rodin. Beautiful patina, nice size, very decorative. This was done in 1987. There is a copyright date as well as some kind of foundry mark or issue mark on the back of it. And this is one of his most famous sculptures, entitled the Bronze Age, but really, really magnificent size to have. Another work from the Spaeth collection is this nice etching by Reginald Marsh, an etching and engraving actually. And this is called Merry Go Round. And what's wonderful about this is the hand coloring. Not many of these were done with artists done hand coloring. It's a beautiful etching. We do have a pencil signature. This is being offered at a $1,500 to $2,500 estimate. Out of a New Jersey estate comes this wonderful abstract by Pierre Jorda, a French mid-20th century painter. This is not signed, but dated 1963 in the lower left corner, and on the verso is an inventory number of the artist, so we can confidently say that this is a Pierre Jorda oil. Beautiful colors against use of black, bold black shapes. Really great for a contemporary home. Nice, ready to go on the wall. And from the same New Jersey location comes another abstract. This one is by Norman Carton, important American artist, actually a WPA artist, although this was done later, likely in the 1950s or 60s. There is an old gallery label on the back. You can see a very, very heavy impasto, as if he just squeezed tubes of paint directly onto the canvas, creating a very attractive composition. And out of a home in Connecticut comes this work after Jean Rau. We say after Jean Rau because we do have figures that resemble figures that he's done in other paintings. This also resembles a portrait of Rembrandt's mother, so there are a lot of important key elements in this painting. This actually was offered at Christie's in 2001 with an $8,000 to $12,000 estimate. Unfortunately, it passed. However, we're offering it here with no reserve at a $3,000 to $5,000 estimate. This beautiful Impressionist painting is signed. Unfortunately, we have an illegible signature in the lower right corner. However, the canvas has been lined, but we can see from the top canvas, the original canvas, that this is likely a late 19th century or early 20th century painting, probably from the Impressionist period. Very sweet scene, two girls lying in the beach grass. You can see the ocean in the background, perhaps gathering fruit or flowers. This is out of a home in Connecticut. And just below it, from the same home, we have an oil on canvas by Louis B. Hurt, British artist who often painted these Scottish Highland cattle. Wonderfully done. Such characters you can see in the faces. Nice expressions on the cattle, balanced with a nice atmospheric sky. Beautiful painting. I mentioned many great prints in this sale. I want to quickly mention a Georges Braque woodcut we have right here, pencil signed by the artist and numbered. And up above it, we have an aquatint by Le Corbusier. These are both out of the same house as the Picasso. We missed another Miro lithograph that was in the front hall. You'll have to come in to see that one. We also have another work by Miro, a nice color lithograph. The other one was black and white. These are both out of portfolios, all signed, numbered, and up above it, an artist-approved lithograph, also by Picasso. As I may have mentioned, the collector of these pieces was in the print business. So everything he has really is of good quality. Here we have a work by Johan Jan Bersen. This is a very dirty painting, as you can probably see. Looks very dark, although I believe it's intended to be very green, colorful, and lush. This is out of a home in Rye, New York. We pulled it out of an attic among an entire collection of works by the Italian artist Manuel Bocini. He likely was working alongside this painter or collecting works by contemporary artists. This is probably an early 20th century painting. The artist worked both in the 19th and 20th century. This is very typical of what he does. We've seen other greenhouse interiors as well as very elaborate interiors, for instance, of Versailles. Great details that are just lost in the filth, but whoever cleans this up, I think, will be happily surprised. Out of Greenwich, Connecticut, comes this Impressionist painting by Leonard Ochtman. Ochtman, like Elmer McRae, was a member of the Coscob Art Colony. You've got a nice lush landscape, could very well be somewhere in Connecticut or in the Northeast. Out of the New Jersey location, where the two abstracts I showed you previously, comes this Francois Gall. Nice woman sitting in a garden, beautiful, decorative, serene, delicately painted, among many French paintings we have. And speaking of French paintings, we have two works here by Garnier. Wonderful bouquets up top. We have a nice purple bouquet, almost modernist feeling to the painting. This is dated 1915. And down below, another bouquet, very bright, many different flowers here, and in almost an impressionist style. So you can see the different ways in which the artist was working, but I think both equally attractive. Beautiful paintings. Before we wrap up, I want to show you one painting that was found in Long Island. Came out of an estate. Unfortunately, we do not know the artist. The work is unsigned, but it's just marvelously executed. Looks like it could be also early 20th century, maybe 19 teens, of a woman knitting. Just wonderful brushwork, the delicacy of the hands, the execution of the face. It's really a nice painting, and it's unfortunate that we don't have a signature on it. I think it could be by an important artist of the time. Although it seems like I've shown you a lot of paintings today, there are so many more to come see on June 3rd. Now Whitney will give you an introduction to some of the jewelry and sterling coming up. Thank you.
Thank you, Nelia. We have a fantastic sale coming up on June 3rd, and I've been looking forward to showing you this selection of jewelry and sterling from this auction. Beginning with a collection of sterling from East 68th Street estate, we have a nearly 500 troy ounces of Shreven Company, a San Francisco company, sterling. We have tazas, we have these really beautiful baskets here, footed baskets. We have open vegetables, a pedestal punch bowl. We have these large trays, we have chargers. Also from the same estate, we have 12 Gorham red plates, and these plates alone weigh nearly 99 troy ounces. Also from this estate, we have 2 lots of J.E. Caldwell engraved plates here, and this is a set of 12, and then the smaller plates are a set of 7. Also from the Shreven Company collection is this 3-piece tea set. Next up from a Scarsdale estate is this Cartier sterling and colored glass cockatoo or bird decanters. They are in this really fantastic vibrant red color, and they are marked sterling Cartier as well as made in Spain. From the same Fairfield estate as our Russian silver dessert set, we have this great Portuguese sterling teapot. Really great look to this piece, great lines. Fresh out of a Harrison estate is this French teacup and saucer with a floral repoussé design, and this is by the artist Alphonse Dubon, and this is circa 1881 to 1911. And this another Russian piece in our sale is a great Fabergé Art Nouveau centerpiece bowl, and it is marked AH for Auguste Holming and of St. Petersburg. It has a great look to it, really very beautiful piece with the original glass centerpiece. And moving on to more Russian pieces here, we have a Russian cigar box here, and it is marked in Cyrillic 84, so that's gilded silver. And another little gilded cigarette case, really very, very beautiful with a floral and fish design with nice rounded edges and a green cabochon closure. On either side it is hallmarked, and we believe that this hallmark does represent and indicate that this piece is from St. Petersburg between 1908 and 1926. And next to this little hallmark is a second hallmark with initials. We weren't able to determine who this initial represents, but we believe it's either CO or CA. A really great piece here. Beautiful. And one of the most interesting pieces in the sale is this 4-piece dessert set by Klebnikov, a Russian maker. And if you take a look at this piece, we do believe that these armorials or crests represent 3 major cities in Russia, and that they may even indicate that this has some imperial provenance. So this is a great piece, a great lot on this sale, really very beautiful. And it does come with 4 cups, 4 plates, and 4 spoons. Okay, and starting the jewelry selection of this sale, we do have these 2 deco bands, one with sapphires and diamonds and one with emeralds and diamonds. From the same Bronxville estate, we have this emerald and diamond ring, along with this unusual setting of a sapphire and diamond ring with nice graduated faceted stones. From a Connecticut estate, we have this pearl ring along with this nice simple ring here that we believe the center stone is tanzanite, a nice faceted little blue tanzanite stone. From the same Connecticut estate, these 2 rings here are lotted together with diamonds and rubies. An interesting lot here are these 2 flip rings that go together. On this ring it is peridot on one side, which then does flip to diamonds. An interesting piece there. And this deco style ring, we have sapphires which then flip to rubies. One of our multi-piece jewelry lots in this sale, pearl necklace with earrings, a little brooch and a rose form brooch from a Bronxville estate. There is a nice diamond clasp on this pearl necklace. And from the same Bronxville estate, we do have 3 sets of earrings, 18 karat gold, from the artist and designer Barry Kesselstein Cord. And also from this estate is a 14 karat gold Italian necklace, a really beautiful piece here, and heavy. I do believe it weighs approximately 43 pennyweights. And just in today is this large citrine diamond and gold pendant, really a beautiful piece, just fresh in today. And to end our jewelry and sterling selection for this auction, we're going to speak a little bit about this spectacular Russian gold and diamond necklace. It walked in one of our Walk-in Wednesday free appraisal days, and it's just a spectacular piece. It's gold and diamonds. We approximate these diamond weight to be 12 carats, and it does weigh approximately a total weight of 43 pennyweights. By family provenance, this piece did come here in the 1960s from London and has been with the same family since that time. And we think that this is a really fantastic piece that's going to do very well in our June 3rd auction. And we look forward to seeing you on June 3rd. And here's Keen with the Mid-Century. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Whitney. As usual, I will give you the mid-century selections for our June 3rd sale. We're going to start right here with a pair of early Mies van der Rohe 4-knoll Barcelona chairs. The consignor's father got these out of a Manhattan office, the lobby of Emery Air Freight. It has an Emery Air Freight label on the bottom of that. He left there about 1958, so these are period chairs. The chairs themselves are beautiful. The frames are single frame, dipped in chrome. The upholstery is original, very good condition for its age. The only issue that I see with these, there are straps missing on the bottom. There's a little stiffness to this one cushion. Not a huge deal, but they all do have the No Associates label on that if you want to get that, Steve. That's a nice label on there. And there's a label for the Knoll upholstery on each of the chairs on the cushions as well. Moving right along here, we have a beautiful John Stewart 6-drawer chest. Has the ebonite sides and the aluminum accent on the sides as well. Really nice touch to it, kind of seamless drawers. The pulls are on the side. Very well constructed, has a beautiful finish on it, and it is in great condition as well. Right on top, just to mention, these are kind of Robert Soderman-esque table lamps, kind of mirrored pair. They're not exactly the same, but they do parallel each other, and they are a great look. Right behind them is a Milo Bauman upholstered sofa. Great chrome frame on this. The upholstery is in excellent condition. A little dirty, but that is easily cleaned up. A great looking sofa. Another great piece that we have is this highly recognizable and rare George Nakashima Kanoi dining table. The dining table is just magnificent. It has the free edge on both sides, as is typical of Nakashima. Butterfly joints, individualized knots that are just beautiful. It really brings out the character of the wood and makes this a unique table, as well as a very finely constructed table. In a separate lot next to the table are the Mira Nakashima Kanoi dining chairs. All 6 side chairs have great construction. There's no condition issues with these whatsoever. All are hand signed and dated. We do have 8 of them, all in perfect condition. Like I said, hand signed and dated on each one on the bottom. A great complement to the table, but as I mentioned earlier, they are a separate lot. Next to those, we have another Knoll Aero Saarinen table. This is a slightly newer one, very good condition. Has 1 piece of damage to the edge, but it is in great condition in terms of the finish, the base. There's no crack allure on it. It is just a great looking table and a classic as well. Next to that, we have a set of Harry Bertoia for Knoll wire mesh chairs. The one with the blue upholstery does have an old Knoll International label on the bottom and a Knoll shipping label as well. Those are very good. Nice outdoor chairs if you like. You can put them outside for the summer. Really weather resistant and have a great mid-century look to them. Moving on to this desk. This desk is unsigned, but one of my kind of sleeper picks for the sale. It's a knee-hole desk, 6-drawer, kind of has a semi-floating drawer kind of look to it. One of the most unique pieces or unique things about this piece itself is one of my favorite parts of the construction, a one-side drop leaf that slides and stands up like that to create an elongated desktop. I think it's just great, clever construction, and it might do pretty well even though it is unsigned. Moving along here, we have a beautiful flared arm and flared backrest sofa. Has kind of the more classical upholstery on it, but it is mid-century, and we believe that it is a possible Tommy Parzinger design. I mean, you can see it just has the brass feet on it, very subtle but magnificent touches to it that makes it look really nice. Another sofa that we have is a Percival Laffer Brazilian rosewood and leather sofa. This is the full sofa. In a separate lot, we have 2 Percival Laffer Brazilian rosewood armchairs. We also have a pair of love seats in the same design. If you just want to get that over there, that's the one love seat. We do have a pair of those. They clean up really nice, have a great look to them as well. This is another great condition piece. It is a possible Tommy Parzinger design as well. Black lacquer, gilt metal accents on it. Nice tweed-like upholstery on that. Needs a little cleaning, but it's great. Great mid-century piece that has a timeless design. You can see the bowed wood on the back is just really beautiful. So finally, I will show you the last 2 pieces of our highlights. We have a pair of these, Milo Bauman. Pretty rare design on these. Has the brass frame, beautiful upholstery, and it has that nice curvature to the backrest that you don't see too often, but it is Milo Bauman. And the final piece, it is a little cluttered, but it is a T.H. Robjohn Gibbing dining table. We have 4 leaves with this, as you can see underneath. Great kind of Roman Greco classical design base on the bottom of that Rob John Giving was just in love with. Great top to it. Condition is really nice. Very nice addition to any dining room. You can put any chair next to this and it'll just make it stand out like a gem. So I think that I've covered it so far, and we do have a lot more mid-century pieces, but I would like to thank you for viewing, and I hope to see you at the June 3rd sale. Thank you.